What is going on, you guys? We're coming to you straight from Fort Collins in the fall time. The leaves are dropping faster than your great aunt's booty on the dance floor at the latest family celebration.
Oh my goodness, leave it to Peter. All right, guys, we're gonna break it down today about what it's gonna cost for you to live in Fort Collins, Colorado.
All right, let's go. Welcome back to the channel. Always happy to bring you those horrible dad jokes. So your Colorado real estate family, Pete and Chelsea Sweeney here, doing everything we can to bring you everything Colorado.
Yeah, and hey guys, if you are excited about this topic and learning more about Fort Collins, give us a thumbs up. And then if you want to follow, because we go all around Colorado and we're gonna hit cities, Denver and all surroundings. So if you are interested in that and you want to learn more about Colorado, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, because we put out 2 videos a week and that'll notify you every time a new video gets put out. So
yeah guys, and also we have that phone number right below. Give us a ring anytime, throw those texts out. We're enjoying those phone calls, we're enjoying those texts, those comments down below. Thank you so much, we appreciate it. We're glad that we could be here to bring you all the information you need to know. Denver, Fort Collins, all surrounding Colorado. So let's go and check it out from the sky's view. Be right back. All right, so before we dive in, just real quick, like I said, I'm licensed real estate agent here in the state of Colorado, helping with all your purchases in Fort Collins. So we're gonna go over the cost of living in Fort Collins. What are we looking at? As we always do in our cost of living videos, we have a scale, right? We do bestplaces.net, finally figured out what website it was that we use, where we have 100 is your baseline, that's your national average. Anything that's above that is obviously more expensive than your national average. Anything below is cheaper than your national average. So real simple. Of course, since real estate is my expertise, I'm gonna dive in a little bit deeper on that. So it's not just a number I'm throwing at you, I'm throwing price points, right? What is it gonna cost median-wise to buy a house in Fort Collins? All right, overall, we're talking about health, we're talking about groceries, we're talking about real estate, everything lumped into one. Fort Collins is a 118 out of 100 compared to the national scale.
which is crazy because some of the other cities that we've covered, such as Boulder and all that, blow it away. So very comparable to the national scale in comparison to some of our larger cities.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's dive into groceries. Again, a little repetitive here when we talk about groceries.
Yeah, groceries, this is,
but we're not going to go into it. You go into it every
I know,
time.
but it's my least favorite one. I don't like it. I'm like, groceries.
It just doesn't differ
Who
very
likes
much,
talking
guys.
about groceries? I get more excited about utilities than groceries. That's got to say something.
I'm not going to lie. I went to the grocery store this last week without children, and I had never been more excited about produce in my life. It was so quiet and beautiful. I never realized how pretty produce was. Okay, anyways, our groceries up here in Fort Collins, it's 101.1. So again, when we talk about groceries, this very seldomly differs very much. The only time we see a slight change from the national average here in Colorado is when you're in a place that has a little bit more local markets and things like that versus kind of the chain, you know, like your Walmarts and
all the commercial style.
Yeah. So up in Fort Collins, I will just say, I mean, at a 101.1, obviously barely higher. Again, it doesn't differ very much no matter where you go besides that, but you do have a mix of both here. You do have some local shops that you can come for groceries or markets, and you definitely all still have kind of your Walmarts and all of the commercial, I guess, like, what are they, chain, they're like chain for grocery store.
Yeah.
And so you do have both here up in Fort Collins, which
selection.
keeps it very affordable.
Like I said, we're all about being local in Colorado, so if you can do that, but at the same time, I mean, we understand. We go to all the King Supers and
we do it all.
Yeah, we do.
We go to all of them.
Yep.
People are like, where do you shop? We're like, well, let me tell you. We just
Where's the
can't-
deals at that week?
and you just can't get something like I don't like Walmart's produce. I would rather go to Natural Grocers or King Supers.
There's just some things like, I mean, like hygiene stuff. I'm sorry, but it's like Walmart is where you got to go. You know, it's like 10 times.
Why your skin's so dry now.
Puts the lotion on its skin. Now!
Well, say it, don't spray it, brother. Dang.
All right, moving on. Let's talk about health, which obviously is kind of my thing. If you guys don't know me, I am a registered nurse here in Colorado. So obviously health is something I really dive into. So when we talk about health, we're always talking about hospital visits, doctor visits, and dentist. And that here is a 96.4. All along Colorado, though, you'll see that our health is actually very affordable and usually lower than national average. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we have a lot of access to health here. And so it makes people, you know, really try to keep it affordable because otherwise they won't fill their doors. So up here we have plenty. And the other thing about Fort Collins is it has a lot of like apothecaries and a little bit more holistic healthcare up here as well, more so than some of the other cities.
Yep. All right, cool. It's time to dive into that housing, right? What are we looking at for housing? And in this number that the national average, or they do with the national average, we're talking about rentals and sales all at the same time, right? So we're looking at a 168.6. So it is definitely a lot higher than your national average. What does that look like in regards to purchasing a home? So here's one thing that I realize I'm not really covering in my other videos with cost of living is when I say median price, I'm talking about the sales price, because there's also a median value price that's projected based off the home values. But we're looking at what are homes selling for, what's that median price point, right? And we're looking at a 464. We just did a Denver cost of living. Denver is a 551. So you're definitely getting a lot cheaper house up here. It is becoming more popular though. So over the last couple of years, you've looked at like a 20% gain in equity over these last 2 years. So something to really look at. Fort Collins is becoming a lot more popular with that. You're going to see the higher price points. So
the other thing too, guys, is if you haven't subscribed to our channel, you are going to want to do that now, because if you're interested in this video, I'm assuming you are if you're watching, we are actually going to start a Fort Collins series coming up.
Who's coming with me? Who's coming with me? Who's coming with me?
So please hit subscribe now, because you're going to want to be notified. We're going to break this housing down over the next several weeks to really show you each different neighborhood and what they're priced at for this. And Peter's really going to kind of dive into that based on the neighborhood. So if you haven't
hold
done
on. But what you forgot to mention is that was one of you guys, you wanted us to do this video about the neighborhoods in Fort Collins.
It's true.
You mentioned, you're like, why don't you just kind of give us an idea of what houses cost, different neighborhoods in Fort Collins. So whoever reached out, thank you so much for doing that.
Yes.
This wind decided to pick up like crazy right now, but yeah, thank you so much. Like I said, we always look at your recommendations. This is one of those recommended videos that we're turning into a series that you guys will enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much up here, right? If you guys ever follow our Denver stuff, you can't just get Denver in one video. Same with Fort Collins. We're gonna spend some time up here and we're gonna show you all about it, and believe me, it is going to be worth it. So if you are interested in breaking it down more, we're gonna get there. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into utilities. So utilities is a 91.3, which is actually very low.
Yeah.
It's a lot lower than, it was lower than Denver.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's definitely one of the lowest ones that we've covered overall. Like I said, I mean, that really, you know, all your utility bills and everything that's kind of covered into that. In Colorado, we've mentioned this before, is most of the time your electricity is more expensive in the summertime because you're running your AC, and you usually use more gas in the wintertime because you're running your heater.
So let's stop on that for a second, because people who aren't from here, let's tell them what like months those typically lie in.
So it usually warms up really good. I'd say probably like June. I'd say June. I was gonna say May, but it's honestly it's dependent on the year, like what the weather's like that year.
We still get snow in May.
Yeah. Sometimes we do. Yeah, but usually June is when it really starts to heat up. Your hottest month is probably like July.
End of July, early August.
Yeah, exactly.
And
so
we're
it's
hitting
like
90s here. You're gonna want your AC on.
Well, and then it depends on what kind of person you are. I mean, I got some buddies who run their AC in the wintertime because they want to, you know, sleep in freaking frigid air. So
Just open the windows, you'll be fine. Okay, so then when do you get our? See, I have to ask Peter all these things, because if any of you guys know about us, like I don't touch like the thermostat at all. And
you gotta have that smart thermostat. You just do it all by your phone.
Yeah, but like I don't do that. Like if it's cold and he's gone, I'll be like, honey, can you turn up the heat?
Did you touch the thermostat? Did you turn it up?
Well, of course not. Did somebody fiddle with the thermostat? Yes, it's 85 degrees. 85? Do you have any idea how much even a few degrees can impact the gas bill? Of course I do. It's unthinkable.
Like, I don't know what it is about our relationship, but that's why Peter has to cover this topic. So, okay, when do we turn on the heater?
Again, it's depending on the year, but I'd say typically, if it's dropping to like maybe 50 at nighttime, and usually you're looking like this year is a little late. Like
Yeah.
we're about to get into November, and we're just now kind of putting the heater on. We're usually like early October is when you're really cranking that heater on. So
Yeah,
it's all
October's one of
dependent.
those flex months.
It is, yeah. It is, yeah. Because I mean,
that and
sometimes
May.
you could be doing Halloween in a snow coat.
Yep.
Or you could be doing it and you're like tearing the layers off. So it's
Yeah,
all
you have
dependent.
no idea. If you have kiddos and you're doing Halloween here, you might want to prepare for them to be super warm because we've done it in the snow.
Yeah.
And then there's other
Modify
years
those costumes
where
to be all, you
yeah,
know.
they have layers like into where they can do the whole thing. So yeah, our big flex months here, guys, are May and October. So you never know what you're going to get in those 2 months.
Yep.
You might get a little bit of everything, but that's what you can kind of expect as far as turning on your heat versus your AC. So
Yep. Cool. All right. Next one is your transportation. What does that cover with your transportation? The cost of your car. It's public transit. There's public transit in the area. We're looking at an 87.4, which is actually pretty damn good. Yeah. So it's like Fort Collins. They have a great public transit system. Your car insurance is a little bit cheaper up here because guess what? You don't have the Denver traffic. You don't have as many accidents. So the rates up for as far as insurance goes up in Fort Collins are a little cheaper. Colorado, just to kind of give you a heads up, is the 7th top state in regards to how much it costs to have a car. But Fort Collins, there's a lot of different. I think there's even some with emissions. You don't have to get emissions in Fort Collins as opposed to Denver, where you do have to get emissions depending on what kind of car it is.
the other thing too that might keep the cost down is a lot. I think it was 99% of people up here close to Old Town Fort Collins actually bike or walk to work.
It makes sense.
And
yeah.
so,
well, in Fort Collins, you said it was like one of the top biking cities in the freaking U.S.
Yeah, it was 99%.
You almost
more.
got taken out by that leaf, or was it a pine cone?
Was it a pine cone?
Yeah,
That
I
would
don't
have been
know.
a really funny blooper. Please don't hit me with a pine cone. Last time we were up here in Fort Collins in one of the parks, my daughter was playing with all the squirrels. So yeah, little iffy up here in these. They have lots of really
You
established,
never know if
beautiful
something's gonna
trees.
come sailing down and knocking you out.
All right, but yeah. So anyways, what I was just saying is a lot of people bike and walk to work here. So obviously that'll probably keep down on some of the fees for
Yeah,
transportation and-
possibly. Yeah, definitely. But it's kind of nice that it's going to be a little bit cheaper in regards to compared to Denver, in regards to your
Which is
transportation.
funny. I think that's the lowest we've covered. In
It
the
is. It
surrounding
is the
suburbs.
lowest. Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, Fort Collins is pretty much the northernmost large city in Colorado. So great spot, but it's also a little bit more disconnected from Denver.
Yes.
So yep. All right. So next one is we're talking about the miscellaneous. What is your miscellaneous? We're talking about restaurants. We're talking about what else? Help me out here.
Like shopping. I mean anything that's not.
Boutique-y.
That's Peter's favorite word. Up
It's
here,
just cool to say. Try saying it once, twice, maybe 3 times a lady. I don't know.
if you haven't given us a thumbs up, do it for Peter right there, okay? That was some mad effort. Okay, so up here, especially around Old Town, you are going to get a lot of local shops. And obviously, local shops are a little bit higher priced. And they also have a mall up here and things like that hold some of the name brand stuff as
Yeah.
far as the shopping goes. So shopping is going to be a little bit more expensive in that part of town, but you still, again, Fort Collins has it all. So you can still go just a few blocks away from Old Town and find things that are a lot more affordable versus some of those kind of handcrafted things.
Oh, remember that one time we walked in that furniture store? We walked in and we walked right out.
We were like, oh, this is so beautiful.
We're like, oh, that is an awesome couch. Okay.
We're like, that's great. Have a nice day.
For those of you who aren't familiar with the furniture stores in Colorado, so we have American Furniture, and that is pretty much our go-to because it's
Well, and we have
super-
children, okay? They ruin everything.
Literally, like you're replacing your furniture every 3 years. I'm sure
Everything. Like
any
my
of you out
son
there with your
takes this
kids
airplane. He's like, and it's all.
jumping on it, making forts out of the cushions, whatever they can to make sure that the furniture's all
And if
beat
it's
up.
not them, it's the dog. So American Furniture's for us,
Yep.
but they also have all the other ones up here if you're more of a love sack. Do they have a love sack up here?
I have no idea.
Oh no, now I have to check. If you know if there's love sack up here, just comment down below. Tell us where it is and tell everybody else where it is. Okay.
Very good, guys. All right. Well, I mean, that pretty much covers the cost of living. It was pretty short, and at
Always
least I think
is.
so.
I mean,
Yeah.
we get down and dirty. We don't talk a lot about all the different things, but we want to give you a really good understanding as an overview. Again, if you are interested in Fort Collins, do not miss this next series.
It's going to start a week from today. So starting a week from today, every Saturday for the next 4 to 5 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah,
so you're
so
going to
keep
want to
an eye out.
subscribe.
Yeah.
Subscribe so so that you don't have to
We're gonna do
keep
a series.
coming
We're gonna
back.
cover all kinds of different areas, different neighborhoods in those areas, and really kind of diving in and getting specific on that.
And lots of
These
videos.
leaves are taking me out
They're
now.
so beautiful. And also just we're gonna have drive-bys and everything so that you can see firsthand. Don't take our word for it. See it firsthand through our video. We're gonna be driving through these neighborhoods and showing you exactly what to expect.
All right, sounds good, guys. Until next time, we love you. Bye.
Bye.